On the music scene in Pakistan, there are many acts that make their presence felt rather boisterously. Then there are those that go about their business more quietly and just make music, sweet music. Nishan is one such band. They are here to leave their mark. Nishan, welcome to the show. Omar, Tania and Sheraz, nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Good to be here. Okay, first of all, the name of the band. I'm sure whenever a band goes out to pick a name, they think about it. How did this come about?
We thought about it for a long time. We had different names in mind. But finally, I think Nishan was... we thought we had to leave a mark on the music industry. So that's why it came about.
Nowadays, though, there is this, the trend of English names. Did you consciously want to go against that, or?
No, I don't think so.
We have been singing Urdu songs, so it made more sense to have an Urdu.
And what kind of music do you play?
It's a blend of different things. It's you can't put it in a category. It's soft sometimes, but it's also the lyrics. They're on the darker side also sometimes. It's very serious. It's based for a serious audience. I don't think some of the songs will appeal to the masses, but some of the songs are going to be liked by some serious people.
It's basically songs that come from the heart. We don't have a plan in mind that this is what we're going to do. Whatever comes from his heart, basically, that's what we're doing.
Okay. But Sheraz also is part of the band. You mostly write the lyrics.
I do write the lyrics and it's for fun.
What do you write about though? What are some of the subjects that you usually?
Well, it's not as much pre-planned. It's just like when I'm just... It comes to me, the whole thing. And if I can just put it down on paper, or I can just remember certain parts of it, then myself and Omar, and then we sit together and work on it. What can be the option?
You're a banker and you write lyrics.
That's true.
And you are a textile engineer apparently. And you play the music and write and everything.
I was a textile engineer. I took self-retirement from. I was a GM Gulama Textiles in the weaving department. So I just had.
Now this is a very familiar story lately. I was into this and then I became a filmmaker. I was into that and I became a songwriter. Why did that happen?
I think you find that usually with our age group. In our times, we were probably very suppressed as individuals, and in the general, everybody in the society, parents, and you can't do music, it's not bad, you have to be an engineer, you have to be a doctor. So it's all credit to Ziaul Haq Sahab. So yeah, basically all the suppression. And I did textiles for 10 years. I rose to the top also, but it was not my piece of cake.
But what's the reasoning that it's against your religion, or it's just bad, or it's not viable as a profession? What are the reasons that are given to you?
Previously it was, now they're becoming more understanding, the parents and everything. It was, it was a stigma, you have to be an engineer or a doctor or something like that to be acceptable in this society.
But you, Tania, you
can yes, I have always been encouraged. And I did not
very unusual, the girl in the family.
Yes. And I have not been, even now it's my mother pushing me, because I'm into a career, I'm passionate about something else as well. So it's like, I'm into special education. I'm a special educationist by profession. So, but I've always been encouraged, and it was by choice that I wasn't doing. Maybe it was because of all the frustration, how to fit into an industry. I am the sort of person who will not take a front seat and
platform was needed,
So, and he provided me with this, both of them.
But you were in a band earlier as well. You sang with Nuts.
I did.
And there was this song that actually developed quite a following. I know, I really liked it.
Dur Hai Manzil.
Yeah. And I wondered for quite some time, what happened to that girl? So what were you up to in between? Were you involved in music or?
No, I had stopped completely. I had stopped singing, I had stopped learning, and then he got me back into it. He was like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm working.
But when you have the talent and you have the training, which I guess a lot of people don't have. Was that the reason why you looked back home and said, when you're with somebody at home?
Yeah, people usually, the artists usually tend to die out if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. As a person, as a human being, as a, the whole package is just, it starts to deteriorate much earlier than normal people. So you have to do what you're good at, or what you want to do actually.
And Sheraz, you've known actually both of them for a very, very long time. Your childhood friends. Yeah. So when they started playing music, did you kind of point your hand and say, well, I also want to, or I'm interested, or how did your role?
Not exactly. In the year 2000, I was leaving for Australia, and before leaving, I gave some of my writings to Omar. He मैंने लिखा हुआ, so if you want to do something about them, you can use them. So when I came back, then he just talked to me and said, all right, let's sit down and work on it. And since then, it's been just going on, and now we have completed the first two albums, and we're working on the third one as well. So,
were you surprised, or were you aware that he had this talent?
I was aware that he's different.
Okay.
All my life, but I was surprised actually. So
I wasn't expecting it at all. At all.
So it was a surprise.
It's still a surprise sometimes. Things writing.
Okay.
So yeah, it's becoming written. I think there's 20-30 songs now. We recorded 20 of them.
Now, what about your albums? Have they been released, or are they waiting to be released?
They're waiting to be released. We've just finished our first video. It's not as a big budget video. Some private sponsors were involved in it, but the budget, exceeded, I think, some limits. Like the director exceeded some limits, so the financial backed up. The Ijaz person and Raza Bukhari and all these people were involved in it. So they backed out at the last moment. And we had this, we'd made this video which had 4 songs in it. and it was a storyline about this guy who becomes psychotic over a period of a day. So in the morning he's fine, and in the evening he's a different human. And he's a musician. So we had...
Okay, that makes sense.
So
now it makes sense.
So it had a lot of things in it. So we took out some clips and we added some band shots to it. It's not a big production thing, but it's a start.
And when do we get to actually see the album in the market?
As soon as the first thing is released, then probably we'll go and talk to somebody.
Okay. And so before we go, can we have a demonstration? Absolute treat. Thank you so much for being here. I'm looking forward to your work.
Our album?
Yes. With that, we'll take a short break. See you soon.